God bless you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I want to talk to you a little bit about the new dormitory, the new facility that Father Methodius has in mind. I want to tell you, Father Methodius is not only a hard worker, he's a smart worker. I'm a hard worker, but I'm not a smart worker. I can tell hard workers who are also smart. He has vision for things. He had vision for this orphanage, and it has come to fruition. And they're often doing things on a shoestring, doing things with great difficulty, such as driving 5 hours a day to bring children to and from the school. 5 hours a day, rain or shine. And sometimes there's a lot of rain in Kenya. But he has a plan. As we were going on one of the routes, he pointed out to me new land where they have a well that they've drilled, and they've got a pump that they want to install, and they're having trouble with the government, like everybody has trouble with the government. You don't have to go to Kenya to have trouble with the government. Anywhere you have trouble with all that regulation stuff. When they get that taken care of, they'll have water. And they're going to build a dormitory. And the dormitory will be for 180 students, 180 orphans. And then they won't have to bus them every single day. They'll save 5 hours and untold amounts of petrol and untold amounts of mechanic time and maintenance time and oil and everything else. And if you've seen some of these Kenyan roads and experienced them, there must be crazy on suspensions and everything else. So they're building a dormitory with God's help. And things are expensive in Kenya for Kenyans, but they're not that expensive really. Not in American dollars, not at all. He thinks for $25,000 to $45,000 American dollars, they will build a beautiful dormitory for 180 students. It'll be segregated so that it'll be for girls and for boys and be safe. Obviously a place for the people who are watching the children to sleep as well. Probably the dormitory will also have an area that can be used as a chapel, because they won't have a chapel. And once they have the dormitory, they already have some other buildings there on the land for teaching, because the place where they're buying was a former school. Then they have a much better situation where they can actually concentrate more on teaching and less on the logistics of just getting children to and from school. Can you imagine 5 hours a day to bring children to and from school? And another thing, these children are fostered all over the place in all these different homes. Now, probably the vast majority of the parents that are fostering these children are wonderful people. But when you have so many people, there's always risks. And plus the children don't have a bonding experience with themselves. And I'll tell you something about these children that's very interesting. They're very affectionate. Here I am, a stranger that I met them today, and they were full of love for me. They wanted to hug me, they wanted to be around me and Marina. I'm nothing special. Of course, I responded to them with love. You respond to these children with love, and they love you back immediately. And imagine the power to have these children in a dormitory, and that would be their family more than anything else. And they would have just beautiful bonding times and learn to be leaders. And more of the time would be spent on education and then also recreation and play rather than bus rides. We can raise in America $25,000 to $45,000. That's not a lot of money in America. So I love Father Father Methodius very, very much, and his puppet job. So I am going to try to raise this. I'm terrible at all these things. Father Methodius is good at stuff. I'm not good at much. But I'm going to find somebody who's good at it, and then we are going to try to raise the funds for this dormitory. Now, if you're wondering about a good place to put your money, to put your funds, this is a place because it is a Christian, Orthodox Christian institution. These children are orphans from 3 years old and up, and they're being taken care of. They're given love, they're given food, they're given clothing, they're given companionship, they're given discipline, they're given education, they're given all the things that a child needs and that they otherwise wouldn't have, because there's not really that kind of social safety net that is in Kenya. We have a social safety net, sometimes it's not so safe. So this is the kind of thing that I think you can put yourself behind and contribute. I'll be getting back with you getting on the internet about how to raise funds. And I think we can do this in less than a year, to raise funds for a dormitory. This would be a wonderful day when it happens. God bless you.